Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. The Subcommittee on Finance will now be hearing the budget of the Presidential Communications and Operations Office and its attached agencies. This meeting is now called to order. I would like to ask the Committee Secretary to please acknowledge the resource persons present for today.
Good morning, everyone. The committee would like to acknowledge the following representative from the Presidential Communication Operations Office proper. We have Secretary Roberto Martinez. Okay, let's continue. ASEC Ana Maria Paz Banaag. We have ASEC Ramon Qualuping III. We have ASEC Esther Margos Uson. We have ASEC Omar Alexander Romero. From the Bureau of Broadcast Services, we have Director Rizal Giovanni Aportadera. From the News and Information Bureau, we have Director Virginia Arcilia Agtay. From the National Printing Office, we have Director Francisco Barrios. From the Presidential Broadcast Staff, we have Director Dennis Wilfred Pabalan. From the Apple Production Unit Inc., we have Mr. Michael Dalumpines. Did I miss anybody? Okay. Okay, that's all, Mr. Chair. Thank you.
Thank you. At this point, before we continue, I would like to acknowledge the presence of our Senate President, Senator Vicente Sota is here with us. Thank you, sir, for joining us this morning. First, the Chair, I would like to give my opening statement. Good morning, everyone. I thank all of you for coming in today for your Senate budget hearing. This past month, the PCO has been at the center of controversies. This we cannot deny. I know that it has been a very difficult time for most of you, especially for our secretary, our undersecretaries, and assistant secretaries. And of course, most especially with ASEC MOCA. Amid all the public clamor for resignations, behind all the blaming and shaming, sometimes we end up turning against each other instead of helping one another rise from their mistakes and build the spirit of cooperation, while others, sadly, just simply give up. However, let me emphasize that actions of government officials should be held to a higher standard because of the power you wield. In the case of ASEC MOCA, both as a social media blogger and as a public official, the words that we say, the acts that we perform are held to a higher standard. Today, aside from tackling your proposed budget for 2019, we also expect that you could shed light to the controversies and issues. We want at the end of this hearing, we can assure our people that the mandate of PCOO is fulfilled and that your budget is efficiently utilized. We should uphold that our Constitution mandates that the public office is a public trust. This should be our guidance to be always mindful of our actions as public officials. With that being said, let us get down to work and make sure that what we plan to deliver to the Filipino people in 2019 is funded. Thank you very much. And I'd like to recognize again the presence of our Senate President who is here, who will be giving his statement before we go to the hearing.
Okay, Mr. Chairman, I'm speaking on behalf of a number of members of the Senate, and we would like to take a second look into the budget of the PCOO and how it has been spent in the last 2 years, and if it has been really effective in carrying out the messages of the President to the people. Precisely that is your mandate. Now, lately, the perspective of some members of the Senate is that we have completely digressed already from the original intent of the creation of the Office of the Press Secretary. And it is no longer in the landscape of the administration, even in the past administration. And for one thing, we were informed that the reason the PCOO was created and even the PCDSPO was created was to accommodate some political friends of the previous administration. So we were thinking that perhaps this is the best time, no, to study, while studying your budget, to review and study the possibility of reverting back into the Office of the Press Secretary. We can streamline that and use your current budget, and if necessary, we can infuse more budget for that to be more effective, for the office to be more effective. I have to say this on the record. I speak on behalf of Senator Lacson and Senator Honasan, but I am sure there are other members of the Senate who would like to support this proposal, and we can propose it into the GAA. So the chairman of the Subcommittee on Finance Budget, chairman who is handling your budget, can probably study this possibility. Also, for the record, we informed the President about this, and he is acceptable to the idea. As a matter of fact, he said we should discuss it with you. So also, for the information of the chairman, I had a private meeting with Secretary Andanar, and we gave him the idea. So for the information of the committee, Mr. Chairman, perhaps while you scrutinize the budget, you can also look into the possibility of taking everything all under the umbrella of the Office of the Press Secretary, and perhaps it will be more effective than what it is today. That's about it. We'll just listen to how the budget was proposed for this year. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Senate President. Your interventions are well taken, and I think I'm sure that the press, our secretary would agree, no, that there is a need to make this department more cohesive, more efficient, and likewise, I think internationally, what is really more recognized is the office of the press secretary. Tama po si Senate President Soto, no? I think this PCO was formed during the last administration. I think it was formed to accommodate 3 press secretaries. So now that we do not have 3 press secretaries, probably it's high time that we go back to the old setup, which is more recognized, which is easier for international, for other countries and other for protocol to recognize. And so before we continue, the Chair would like to acknowledge and give the floor to Secretary Martin Andanar for your statement.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, Senator Joseph Ejercito. Good morning po, Senate President Vicente Soto. Before we present our proposed 2019 budget, may I introduce the officials of the PCOO who are with me today. Undersecretary for Admin and Finance, George Apasible. Undersecretary for New Media and External Affairs, Lorraine Badoy. Assistant Secretary for Policy and Special Concerns and FOI Project Management Office, Attorney Chris Ablan. Assistant Secretary for Operations and Legislative Affairs, Ana Marie Banaag. Assistant Secretary for Special Concerns, Mindanao, Joseph Garcia. Assistant Secretary for Media Accreditation and Relations Office, Florentino Loyola Jr. Assistant Secretary, Ramon Coluping III. And Assistant Secretary for Social Media, Esther Margot Uson. With us today are the heads of our bureaus and attached agencies. Director Rizal Giovanni Apotadera Jr. of the Bureau of Broadcast Services. Director Howard Oiking, Bureau of Communication Services. Director Francisco Valles Jr. of the National Printing Office. Director Virginia Agtay of the News and Information Bureau. Director General Harold Clavite of the Philippine Information Agency. Executive Director Dennis Wilfred Babalan of the Presidential Broadcast Staff, RTVM. Richard Valdez, our OIC Station Manager for PTV, and Chairman Mike Dalumpines of the Apple Production Unit Incorporated. We are now ready to present our 2019 proposed budget, which is an annual cash-based budget with a shift of the national government's budget from an obligation-based budget to annual cash-based appropriations. It is also a performance-informed budget wherein the project expenditure classification approach, or PREC-C, is being implemented by grouping the activities and projects under major programs or key strategies. But before we present our budget proposal, we wish to explain to the public what PCO is. So if we can play the video.
The Presidential Communications Operations Office. of the executive branch.
Executive Order Number 4, Series of 2010, created the Presidential Communications Operations Office and mandated it to serve as a premier arm of the executive branch in engaging and involving the citizenry and the mass media in order to enrich the quality of public discourse on all matters of governance and build a national consensus thereon. PCO's mission is to serve as a primary vehicle for consciousness raising, constituency building, and social mobilization in support of the policies, programs, and projects of the presidency, and to serve as a tool for informing, educating, enlightening the citizenry about matters of national importance, for inspiring the citizenry to deepen their civic engagement. We at the PCO are driven by the vision that the PCO is the lead communications arm of the government and a vehicle of understanding for a well-informed and enlightened citizenry, proud of its heritage and attuned to global realities. Our officials and employees work together with a goal of being able to give our people the information they need to make the right choices in their lives, be it economic, political, or personal. What many do not know and understand about PCO is that it takes a large organization to achieve its mandate. PCO is divided into its core agencies, the PCO proper, and its attached agencies. PCO is a huge but well-managed agency. PCO as a whole, including its attached agencies, operates around the Philippines and hires 3,173 employees, including 2,190 regular employees. Face-to-face interaction with the public around the Philippines through PIA, print through APO and NPO, and may I add that nearly all public documents, including your birth certificates and passports, are produced by PCO's attached agencies. Content generation through the News and Information Bureau and the Bureau of Communication Services, which also helps print for other government agencies. Online news services through the Philippine News Agency. Under the program-based budget structure, the PCO's organizational outcome is public access, engagement, and understanding of presidential policies and government programs achieved. In order to attain its organizational outcome, the PCO, through its bureaus and attached agencies, is committed to implement the following programs: presidential communications, PCO proper, public radio broadcasting or PBS, government communications, BCS, National Printing Office, NPO, Government News Information and Media Services Program, or the NID, Development Communications through the PIA, and the Presidential Documentation and Broadcast Management Staff, or RTVM. To enable us to deliver on our commitments in 2019, the PCO is proposing a 1.474 billion peso budget distributed as follows. PCO proper, with 360.988 million pesos. Bureau of Broadcast Service, with 396.967 million pesos. Bureau of Communication Services, with 37.186 million pesos. The National Printing Office, with 11.499 million pesos. The News and Information Bureau, with 124.677 million pesos. The Philippine Information Agency, with 337.486 million pesos, and RTVM, with 205.180 million pesos. For 2019, the lion's share of our department budget will go to PBS, with 27%. PCO proper gets 24% of the total budget allocation, while PIA gets 23%. RTVM gets 14%, NIB 8%, BCS 3%, and the National Printing Office 1%. PCO proper alone accounts for only a small fraction of PCO with its 92 full-time employees. Under PCO proper, we have the following frontline offices: Freedom of Information Project Team, Special Concerns for Davao, New Media and External Affairs and Brand Integration, which handles our anti-drug programs, Content and Messaging, which handles the content and information disseminated by our presidential spokesperson, Media Accreditation and Relations Office, which handles the nation's presidential coverage here and abroad, Operations and Legislative Affairs, Social Media, and the following are the PCOO's propers.
Sorry to interrupt you, Secretary Benar. I know that by 11 a.m.
Yes.
we have to suspend because you have to go to the House to continue budget deliberations. I was told by the LBRMO. So I'd like to ask you to just go to straight to the meat. No, ano po yung kailangan talaga ng budget, no? So we are more or less already know because we already have the copy of the presentation. So siguro we just discussed this morning. Let's take the opportunity that the Senate President is here, who has made a very good recommendation, no, for us to be able to probably for your agency to be able to reorganize and probably reboot, so to speak, by going back to the old office of the Press Secretary. So we can discuss the...
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you. I cannot agree more with our Senate President, Vicente Soto, in reverting to the office of the Press Secretary and going back to the basis of creating the office of the Press Secretary. It handles all of the disseminating platforms of government, and at the same time ensures
and
that...
I think likewise, internationally, the Office of the Press Secretary will be easier to recognize by almost all the governments all over the world.
That's correct, Mr. Chairman. As a matter of fact, the Office of the Press Secretary, during the time of the Marcos era, the Aquino era, had press attaches, and slowly it was removed from the office, and I believe that retaining that under the Office of the Press Secretary would be a major value for our organization.
You're absolutely right, considering the fact that the international media, the image is not too good. Or not ideal at all.
Thank you, Mr. Senate President. And I do believe that in 1989, the Office of the Press Secretary and was actually supported by a new office, which was created in 1989. This was the Office of the Presidential Spokesperson. And from then on, President Aquino, President Cory Aquino had a separate press secretary who managed all of the media bureaus in government, and there was also a presidential spokesperson. During the time of the FDR, it also had the same setup. There was a press secretary. There was also a presidential spokesperson. It is difficult to manage all of these communications arms of government and at the same time speaking on behalf of the president. So there was wisdom in that 1989 executive order by President Aquino to create the office of the presidential spokesperson, Your Honors. And even the time of President Joseph Estrada, there was Jerry Marican who spoke, and there was also Rod Reyes, who was the press secretary. The time of President Gloria Macapagal Arroyo also had a separate press secretary and the presidential spokesperson. I think Rick Saludo was the presidential spokesperson. At one time, E.S. Ermita also doubled up as a presidential spokesperson, while Ignacio Bunye served as a press secretary, and Ikban also. During the time of President Benigno Aquino, magkahiwalay din yung spokesperson and the press, the PCO, but the only problem there was another. There were more, there were three. So I do agree with the Senate President.
Yes, Esther Mago Makauson, you want to say something?
Magandang umaga po, Honorable Chair, Senate President Soto. Honorable Chair, pwede po ba magbigay ng statement po kung okay lang po?
Of course. Sige pa, kung have everybody can speak up kung ano man ang pwede man sabihin, especially with regards to your sa iyong office. You are all given the freedom to speak.
Salamat po. Magandang umaga, Honorable Chair, Senate President. Sa pagkakataon po na ito na ibinigay niyo sa akin upang ilabas ko po na aking saloobin. Nais ko na po magbigay ng kaunting pahayag patungkol sa project ng PCOO. Napag-alaman ko po na muling na-delay ang pagpasa ng budget sa PCOO sa Kongreso. Tingnan mayroong ilang mga kongresista ang iniipit ang budget ng PCOO dahil sa ating hindi pagtuloy dito. Wala po ako dahil ako po naatasan magtrabaho sa United Nations General Assembly kasama po ang DFA. Ngunit alam ko naman po na hindi iyon ang dahilan kung bakit sila ay nagagalit po sa akin. Maraming nagalit ng mga makakaliwang grupo sa akin dahil sa interview ko sa mga lumad kung saan sinabi ko na yung aking nadiskubre ayon po sa ilang mga lumad, mga leaders po, mga dati mula sa Mindanao na sila ay ginagamit di umano ng CPP, NPA at ng mga kalilang grupo upang pabagsakin si Pangulong Duterte. Naniniwala ako na ito ang dahilan kung bakit mayroon ilang mga kalilang kongresista ang galit na galit po sa akin. Gayun pa man ay dito na po talaga ang sistema natin ngayon. Taon-taon ay sinasabihan po ako na hulog-punahin ang ilang mga mambabatas para hindi po ipitin ang budget ng PCOO. Nakagalit man ganyan ang sistema natin sa kasalukuyan. Bulok man ito, ngunit kailangan sundin. At dahil po dyan, ako na po ang magsasakripisyo para maipasa na po ang budget ng PCOO. Ako po ay magdesisyon na mag-resign na po. Para po sa mga bumabati ko sa akin, huwag po kayong magkakamaling isipin na nagtagumpay kayo. Hindi ako nagbitling sa posisyon dahil takot akong harapin kayo. Gusto ko lang na pag nagkaharap tayo, patas ang laban. Matagal na po kung inaakisahan ng kung ano-anong kasalanan. Hindi ako sinasagot dahil na rin sa respeto ko kay Secretary Martin Andanar at sa mga kasamahan ko po sa PCOO. Pinili ko pong manahimik sa harap ng pag-atake nyo dahil alam kong kaya ninyong ipitin ang budget ng aming departamento. Hindi na po kayo nahiya sa ating Pangulo na walang pagod sa kakatrabaho upang isaayos ang ating bayan. Samantalang kayong ilang mamabatas ay ginagamit ang posisyon upang takutin ang mga ahensya ng gobyerno na hindi sumasakay sa inyong pansariling agenda. Balang araw magkakaharap din po tayo. Ngunit, di tulad ninyo na nagtatago sa inyong posisyon, handa akong lumaban bilang isang ordinaryong Pilipino kasama ng mga walang boses sa lipunan. Dadawin ko ang laban sa Senado at sa Kongreso. Muli nagpapasalamat po ako sa lahat ng mga nagtitiwala po sa akin, sa ating mahal na Pangulong Rodrigo Roa Duterte sa pagkakataon na manilbihan sa bayan. Hindi po ito katapusan ng laban, umpisa pa lamang po ito. Maraming salamat, Honorable Chair, Senator J.B. Ojito, Senate President Soto, maraming salamat po sa pagkakataon na ito. At dahil hindi na po ako kabahagi ng PCOO, maaari na po ba akong makaalis upang mapag-usapan na po ang budget po ng PCOO? Maraming salamat po.
Isang tanong lang, Mr. Chairman. Hindi naman kami pinapatungkulan mo, no?
Hindi po kayo, sir, dahil
salamat.
mababait po kayo at kakampi po kayo ng Pangulong. Wala, sayang nga po, wala po sila dito.
Medyo siyempre marami rin na nabigla na, pero gusto ko na magpasalamat Asik Boca na nagtiwala ka sa Senado at pinili mong magpakita. Your presence here only shows that you have the trust. Thank you for trusting the Senate. Maraming salamat sa iyong pagtiwala. Kaya lang gaya ng nabanggit ko talagang public office sa public trust, napakahirap talaga. It's a thankless job. Siguro maaring itong nakaraang 2 taon, marami tayong lessons learned, Marami tayong pagkakamali, pero dapat ganun naman yun eh, matututo tayo, no? Siyempre, birth pains, pero siguro nakikita ko naman kay Asik Mocha, kahit na marami ang siguro bumabatikos, hindi sumasang-ayon, pero nakikita ko naman yung iyong sinseridad sa pagsuporta sa Pangulo. Dahil ganun marami rin kakampi. Marami bumabatikos, pero palagi ko mas marami rin kakampi. At siguro ang nasa isip mo, tulad ko rin, sabi ko kapag tinulungan natin si Pangulong Duterte, kapag siya po ay nagtagumpay, itagumpay din natin lahat yon kaysa naghihilaan tayong pababa. Di ba? So, siguro na ako nakikita ko yung iyong sinseridad sa pagtulong, maaring hindi lang naintindihan ng iba. No? Kaya ako ay nagpapasalamat din at nandito rin ang presensya ng ating pong Senate President at pinagkatiwalaan mo ang Senado. So, Asik Mocha, maraming salamat sa iyong pagtiwala.
Maraming salamat po, Honorable Chair, Senate President. Good morning po sa lahat. Thank you.
So, you are now excused, pero siguro hindi naman huling pagkikita natin ito at makikita pa rin namin ikaw. And I think you will have the freedom. Ang hirap kasi timplahin, ang hirap balansihin ng nasa public, ikaw ay public official at ikaw ay vlogger. Kumbaga pigil ka sa iyong ngayon I think you will have your freedom. Thank you. We'll give a few minutes muna, no? Alam ko yung mga nandyan. Sir Martin, tatanggapin mo na ba muna bago tayo magpatuloy, tanggap mo ba yung resignation ni Asik Mocha? Kasi Presidente, nag-resign na pala siya, no? Okay, so now we can continue. So that by 11 o'clock, bilis na pala. I will release you. So ano po yung mayroong ng concern si Senate President Soto. Do we want to strengthen yung pong press attaché, no? Yung para gumanda yung international image natin. Palagay ko yan ang weakness ng ating pong setup, ng ating pong administrasyon. Natatalo ang administrasyon, especially the President, in the international perception. No? So, what would, ano po ang dapat niyong gawin? Ano ang tingin niyong dapat gawin so that we can support you kung kinakailangan lakihan yung budget for the international operations of having a press attaché probably? Sige, Sec Martin.
Maraming salamat po, Mr. Chairman. Tama po si Senate President Soto. Noong mga panahon po ng Administrasyong Marcos at I think a few years ng panahon po ni Presidente Aquino ay very active po yung press attaché natin. Kailangan po natin talaga ng magposte ng attaché sa image po. Dito po sa London, dito po sa Washington DC, sa Beijing, sa Israel, pwede rin po.
Kailan ba naalis yun, Mr. Chairman?
Daan-daan pong naalis. Pagpasok po ni Presidente Cory Aquino noong 1986, daan-daan po. If I'm not mistaken,
nandun yun, pero unti-unting nawala na.
Opo, unti-unti kasi nawala.
So what you can do, because we do agree with the idea. Ang pinakamaganda siguro, pag-aralan nyo kung, at ipaalam nyo kagad sa ating chairman ng committee, ano-anong mga lugar ang importanteng merong press attaché. Hindi naman kailangan lahat ng lugar na meron tayong embahada o konsulado ay meron. Yung mga pinakamahalaga na mga trading partners natin at saka yung ang imahe ng gobyerno o ng Pilipinas ay dapat napapangalagaan, lalo na sa international press. Siguro yung mga ganon. And perhaps you can submit to the chairman a proposed budget, or you might be able to squeeze this into the budget of the DFA. Baka doon ng paglalagay niyan. So, palagay ko, mabuting you go back to the drawing board and inform the committee later on.
Tama po kayo, Mr. President. Ang aming kasamaan, si Asik Chris Ablan, ay inatasan ko na po siyang ihanda yung yung mga mahalagang foreign posts. Kung di po ako nagkakamali, meron po tayo sa London, Washington DC, isa sa Middle East, sa Japan, China. So ito po yung mga 5 mahalagang lugar talaga na pwede nating lagyan. Sa Europe po, sa Brussels. Opo. Pwede po sa Brussels. So mga 6 po kailangan natin. Opo.
So this will not be the last, no? Because we have to release you earlier. We have to suspend, but I hope that ito pong nire-request ni Senate President, I think it's very valid for us to be able to strengthen and improve not only the President's image, but the country's image abroad. I think it's really high time that we really strengthen or relaunch, no, yung pong attaches, the press attaches all over the country. Kasi talagang ang nangyayari, pag hindi pa kayo nakapag-ikot, talagang ang hirap mong pagsagot eh. Di ba? So I think it's very wise. So probably the next hearing, siguro magbe-break pa naman ho kami. I think it's scheduled November 12 pa naman. So you have enough time. That's almost a month. I hope by that time that the office of the Secretary will be able to have an initial plan as to the recommendations of the Senate President for the relaunching of the press attaches in the different areas all over the world.
Salamat po, Mr. Chair. And just for the record lang po,
And that will give you enough time for the structure of the office of the press secretary ulit, ano, at hindi yung PCOO na, di ba? And then, because, yeah, just for example, one very important point. Your budget of 1.4 billion for 2019, what percentage goes to personal services? Mga 60% kaya or more?
Mr. Chair, ang nandito po, personal services po for 2019 ay nasa
According to my
14%.
Statisticians in the back is 48%. Personal services.
Minus 48, 705. Nag-increase po 40.62%.
Si Senator Doblong pala ito, tama ito, sigurado.
40.62%.
Ito.
Ano ito?
709. 709 eh.
Apo.
Ang 709 over 1.4.
Apo.
Yun ang budget niya for personal services.
Apo.
Okay.
40.62% at yung dinecrease po this 2019 is 6%.
Medyo okay yan. Maluwag yung may leeway kayo.
Apo.
Yung Bureau of Broadcast, andun pa rin ang IBC 13 saka RPN 9 eh.
Yung Bureau of Broadcast Services po, ito ay yung Radyo Pilipinas. Ito po yung radyo natin.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman.
Yung IBC 13 at saka RPN 9.
Yung IBC 13 po ay yun ang ipinaprivate po natin. Ay yung RPN, we only have 20% left. Opo.
I see.
Opo. Meron pong
What's the status pa Secretary of IBC 13 because during the last budget hearing for 2018, may plano na to privatize, no? Naghahanap na kayo ng takers. So probably can you just update us and yung proposed baseline at that time, I can remember, was 4 billion ba? Tama ho ba?
Opo.
So what's the status?
Mula po nung nagkaroon po tayo ng budget hearing last year, Mr. Chairman, ay inaprobahan na po ni Pangulong Duterte, napirmahan na po yung go signal na ito ay i-privatize. Nagtayo na rin po tayo ng technical working group at sinisikap po natin magawa yung terms of reference. Kaso lang po, everyday meron po tayong nadidiscovery na problema sa Intercontinental Broadcasting Corporation.
And likewise, sa ano po, parang from the committee, Yung sa tungkol sa PDB4, hindi ho na isama rito. Can you discuss briefly? Because in 2019, PDB4 has a budget of 576 million, which 128.38 million is for subsidy and 447.9 is for equity. Hindi po nasama sa presentation lang. Baka nakaligtaan lang.
Kasama po namin si OICGM Richard Valdez.
Jim, please briefly lang, no? I know you have to go. Siguro pangalan na ng committee. Baka nakalitan yung PDB4.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, Mr. Senate President. For the past years, for PTV, budget of the television network is not included under the PCO budget. It falls under the corporate budget, and the budget of PTV was made because passed by the House's creation of PTV, giving us 5 billion budget spread out through the years until 2019.
So again, yung budget report would be 576 million.
We have a budget for 2019 as for 447 million.
So that's for the equity. Yung subsidy pa, 128.
Only 7 to 8 million for...
7 to 8 lang?
Yes, sir.
Meron discrepancy. Pero sige, we'll take a look at that, no? Okay. Wala pa kayo presentation? Maybe? Ang channel PTV4? Ang briefings? What have been done?
We can submit it in the next budget hearing.
Next budget hearing, let's do so. Kasi nakita naman natin if there's one thing that the PCO under the administration has done, especially under Secretary Martin and Dai, was the improvement of the government stations, no? At least mukhang, mukhang papanoorin na ng content natin, hindi mo papanoorin eh. Diba? So, I'd like to give respect. We have to give credit for you. At least meron na, there have been, considerable improvement. Diba? So, siguro, market share nyo, tumaas na rin. Siguro, 1% na ngayon. Dapat ang
Mr. Chairman, I would like to proudly state that yung ating pong Radyo Pilipinas, yung ating 738 AM na Radyo Pilipinas 1 ay number 7 ako sa Mega Manila. Yung ating 104.3 FM1, number 1 in Affinity.
Yung Radyo Pilipinas is the former Radyo ng Bayan?
Opo,
okay.
Opo, Mr. Chairman. At yung bago po nating FM station para sa mga millennials, 87.5, ay pasok na rin po sa top 10. At for the first time in history, I believe that the Philippine Broadcasting Service, lahat po ng radyo ng gobyerno, is entering a second golden age in broadcasting. Kanya we're very proud that ang Channel 4 po ay number 4 na po siya ngayon. From anong number niyo dati, Richard? Mr. Chairman, number 8 po. Yung PTV4 noon, ngayon number 4. And isa po sa mga ginagawa po naming improvement this year ay
Tapos even the studio, the setup, at least it looks attractive now.
Opo.
So, problem na lang dyan, pag pumasok ang Itbulaga, lalo bababa. Ako yung market ko. Yun lang.
Mr. Chairman, we used to have a TV show in Channel 4 entitled Friends. Tito Vic and Joey with Charo Santos. Charo Santos Concho. Yeah, we used to have a show there. Baka gusto nyo ibalik.
Pwede. Ay, sana ko po yung tapos ng Mr. Chair. So,
I was just joking.
yung dapat this year ay increase po yung transmission from 55,000 watts to 120,000 watts. Itong dito po sa Metro Manila.
Para inyong coverage, no?
Mas buong Mega Manila po ang coverage hanggang Laguna at Batangas po.
Well, I would say that you have, again, made significant strides, no, to improve the government channel. As I've said, talagang dati hindi mo pa panoorin. Sa setup pa lang, wala nang wala ka nang gana. Pero ngayon, mukhang bago na, mukhang maayos na, mukhang international, hindi na nalalay sa CNN at sa iba, no, kung titignan mo. So, I hope that you'll continue improving and hopefully get a bigger share of the market, especially especially for government. It is the main communication arm of government, so we have to improve.
Tama po kayo, Mr. Chairman, at nais ko lang po maidagdag na mabilis lang po na kung sanay po tayo dito sa ating bansa na yung ating headquarters ng ating TV ay dito po sa Metro Manila, ay malapit na pong buksan yung Mindanao Media Hub. Ito po sa Davao City. At itong Mindanao Media Hub, Mr. Chairman, ay state-of-the-art media center. Nandun po yung TV, radio, online, Philippine News Agency. Ito po ay magiging powerful din po. So we can have our national newscast coming from Davao City before election of next year, Mr. Chairman.
Sige, that I hope that will be ready because it's very important, no, that people know of the programs and projects of the government because it is natural. Pag positive kasi talaga hindi yan masyadong sexy, hindi masyadong newsworthy. So you have a big challenge to communicate the programs and likewise accomplishments of government. Talagang it's really, I guess you know how it is. You came from a network. Diba? So it's really a challenge na to how to be able to make a good news to be newsworthy. Anyway, sa PTV4 lang, before we continue lang, yung kanina nabanggit yung 76, that's for 2018. Yung subsidy for 2019 is 128. No? Anyway, papalitan naman po tayo. No? Nandito po yung figure sa amin ngayon.
Yes, sir.
Ano lang, we're hoping to get presentation because Senator Lauren Legarda, our chair of the finance, nag-text po siya. She wants another hearing for this. Then she has some more concerns. Sabi ko naman, we just went to the preliminaries and yung pong natin ngayon, yung pong suggestion ni Senate President that we go back and we will expect in a month's time your plan, your strategy into reverting back to the old the office of the press secretary. And likewise, yung pag-relaunch natin ng mga office of the press attaches in different areas of the world, strategic areas. Meron po tayo before let you go for because you have to go to the house by 1 o'clock, no? Pero by 11 we hope to suspend already, so may mga katanungan lang daw from the LBMO, no? For item 10390, PTV4 is supposed to get 2 billion from the proceeds of the privatization of RPN9 and IBC 13. RPN9 has already been privatized. Has PTV4 received any money from this? Can you update us?
Good afternoon. Good morning, Chair, Senate President. But it's still ongoing because we were able to get consensus already with the meeting with RPN9. There was supposed to be a breakdown as to how the payment are going to be made, but rest assured that we'll update you as to the payment of RPN9.
So, how much has been remitted? Well, did you see anything already? Again?
We're coming down to our project. We're just finalizing project.
Just finally, it's still in the process.
Yes, sir.
Your payments.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so hopefully we can hear during in the next hearing because we are also particular. We would like to know the status, no? Because of the sale has been consummated already.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Okay, thank you. Next, what has the management done with the audit findings contained in the 2017 audit report? Have we complied with the audit recommendations? audit report ng PCOO itself, meron hong mga findings kung were you able to comply. So if you cannot answer now, at least you will know, no? Please take note of this. Kasi galing ito sa ating legislative finance office. So PCO should submit their compliance reports to COA and the response to the audit findings before we approve the budget on the subcommittee level. So at least you still have time. Sige, Ate Omar Romero, would you like to comment on this?
Yes, good morning, Mr. Chair. Good morning, Mr. Senate President. With respect to the audit findings of the COA for PCOO, these findings include a revamp of the procurement processes within PCOO and the replacement of the personnel involved in the procurement process. So we have done it, Mr. Chair, and we're still in the process of implementing further improvements. It should be noted, Mr. Chair, that in the past we were constrained to involve contact of service personnel in the procurement process, and because of the COA recommendations and findings, we are now limiting these sensitive positions to regular personnel of PCOO.
So, but in the next hearing, please submit the compliance reports and likewise your response to the COA audit findings. Because that will be a requisite before we approve your budget from the committee level. So we will not be able to recommend delivery to the plenary unless you are able to submit the COA findings and your response.
Will do so, Mr. Chair.
Okay, thank you. I have two more items. Wala na si Asik Mocha, but as head of the social media unit division of the PCOO proper, she is designated as the one who will review and approve accreditation of social media bloggers since the issuance of the department order in 2017. Siguro kung wala si Asik Mocha, probably Sec Martin or any other officials present can answer. Ang tanong ko ay, may we know how many bloggers have been given accreditation, and may we know what are the criteria for a blogger to be given accreditation?
Mr. Chairman, the policy was never implemented because after we gave a 3-month leeway for the office of ASEC MOCA to respond to the queries of ASEC Ablan, wala pong naipasok na blogger. So therefore, ay wala na ho yun. Nag-expire po yung policy, Mr. Chairman.
So it was not implemented?
Opo. And
likewise it's tough because most bloggers, what the President said, most bloggers don't want really to expose themselves. Diba? Okay, probably the last before we let you go this morning. May we know the status of the support team up for the Philippine News Agency in cleanup po ng PNA?
Mr. Chairman, may I defer to Director Virginia Agtay, our Director.
Good morning, Mr. Chair and Senate President. It is significant to note that since the gaps that happened last year in the Philippine News Agency, there is not, I cannot say it's zero, but very minimal just on spellings, and these are all being noticed or corrected before they are posted on the website, because we have implemented 3 levels of editing. So unlike before, when there is only 1 level, this time we have 3. So from top editor, after editing the article or any material, it goes to a 2nd level, and then it goes to a 3rd level. So fresh eyes to make sure that all stories or materials posted on the website is free from glaring errors. And may I also note, Mr. Chair, that the Philippine News Agency has worked in other platforms aside from online. So we have Newscat, that is posted on the social media pages and the website. And we have rehabilitated the office. It's now more different and very presentable office through the support of the PCOO. And we have our own newsroom and support needed equipment for all the personnel.
Who is the PNA now? Is there Mr. Ego or kayo na po?
Yusuf Ego is the supervising
okay.
PNA of PNA.
Kasi siya pa rin na. Wala ko kasi don't see him around. Wala lang mo siya ngayon.
He's still there, Mr. Chair. And actually he's the one who's being attacked for PNA, the pros and cons.
I hope that he will be here in the next hearing because there are some issues or some concerns that the other senators might want to ask, no. So wala na po tayong so wala natin yung mga maling spelling, maling big
wala na po, Mr. Chair. And we
because that speaks of the administration. Pag ganun ka gulo, ang syempre perception sa atin, especially in the international community, it will not be good.
Wala na po, Mr. Chair, since all the that happened last year. And we also say that the Philippine agency was strengthened its partnership with Foreign News Agency. So, as of now, meron na po tayong
I remember when we have a hearing, sabi ni Mr. Ego, meron feeling natin, no, kasi take over lang natin noon that may nagsasabutahe. Dahil marami doon, mga nakaraan pang administrasyon. So, what have you done kung talagang meron nga? O ano po ang naging findings?
Ang findings po noon ay hindi na po ang sabi po ng NBI, so we had NBI help us. Ang sabi po ay meron pong nagkaroon po ng attempt to access the website from a different area na supposedly dapat nandun lang po sa aming opisina. Hindi na po namin masyadong na-pursue because we had to move forward and talagang implement na po yung reform. So nagkaroon po naging strict na po ngayon, Mr. Chair, sa everyday performance ng bawat to make them accountable. So meron pong suspend, meron po hanggang ngayon, may nag-serve pa po ng suspension, and masaya naman po kami na naging isang eye-opener po sa lahat na naging on their toes every day.
Well, that's good to hear. Okay, so before you speak again, just a reminder from the chair, yung pong concerns ng Senate President natin, okay? We have the plans and probably the budget, no, for the new setup under the Office of the Press Secretary, and likewise with special mention doon po sa technical phase, no, in strategic areas. Okay? So again, we have no more concerns for this morning. We will be back on November 12th for your second budget briefing. So please, November 12th, we will expect you here. So again, thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. This meeting is now suspended. Thank you.